If you've been feeling restless lately, like something big is shifting but you can't quite name it, there's a reason for that. Between February 17th and 20th, 2026, we experienced one of the most powerful astrological events of the year, a ring of fire solar eclipse in Aquarius. And if you're someone who works with tarot, or you've been drawn to spiritual practices lately, this eclipse has a message for you. Today we're going to break down exactly what this eclipse means, how it shows up differently for each zodiac sign, what kinds of questions you should be asking your tarot deck right now, and what you can still do with this energy even if you completely miss the actual eclipse date. Because here's the thing most people don't realize about eclipses. They're not one-day events. The energy opens a portal that stays active for months. So if you're watching this week's or even months after February 17th, you're not late, you're right on time. Let's dive in. So what actually happened on February 17th? At 7:01 in the morning Eastern Time, the Sun and Moon aligned perfectly in the sign of Aquarius at 28 degrees. The Moon passed between the Earth and the Sun, creating what's called an annular solar eclipse. The ring of fire effect where you can still see a bright circle of sunlight around the dark disk of the moon. From an astrological and spiritual perspective, solar eclipses are major reset points. They mark endings and beginnings happening at the same time. Something in your life reaches completion, and something new is ready to start, often whether you feel ready for it or not. And this eclipse landed in Aquarius, the sign of innovation, revolution, community, authenticity, and breaking free from outdated systems. Aquarius doesn't care about tradition just for tradition's sake. It cares about truth, about what actually works, about what serves the collective good and your own highest evolution. So when an eclipse happens in Aquarius, it's asking you, where in your life are you still pretending? Where are you following rules that don't actually make sense anymore? Where are you playing small because that's what people expect, even though you know you're capable of so much more? These are not comfortable questions, but eclipses don't come to make you comfortable. They come to wake you up. Now here's what made this eclipse even more potent. February 17th also marked the beginning of the Chinese Lunar New Year, specifically the Year of the Fire Horse. This is a rare and powerful symbol. The fire horse represents independence, speed, freedom, courage, and bold action. So cosmically, the message was crystal clear. It's time to move. It's time to stop waiting for permission. It's time to trust yourself and make the leap you've been thinking about. And that energy didn't just last for one day. It stretched across February 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. 4 full days of intensified cosmic energy. 4 days when the veil between what is and what could be was at its thinnest. If you did tarot readings during this window, you probably noticed they felt different, sharper, more direct. The cards weren't pulling punches. They were showing you exactly what needed to be seen, even if it was uncomfortable. Now let's talk about how this eclipse affects each zodiac sign, because the energy lands differently depending on where Aquarius falls in your personal chart. If you're an Aries, this eclipse hit your house of community and future dreams. You're being asked to evaluate your friendships and social circles. Who actually supports your growth? Where do you need to find your people? Taurus, this eclipse activated your career and public image sector. Big changes are coming professionally. You might be stepping into leadership or walking away from a path that no longer fits who you're becoming. Gemini, this is about expansion for you. Travel, education, belief systems, something about the way you see the world is shifting. You're being called to think bigger. Cancer, the eclipse landed in your sector of transformation and shared resources. This might bring up themes around trust, intimacy, or financial partnerships. Something deep is changing. Leo, this eclipse is directly about your relationships. Romantic, business, or close partnerships. You're being asked to show up more authentically in your connections and let go of dynamics that require you to hide parts of yourself. Virgo, this is hitting your daily routines, health, and work life. The eclipse is asking, are your daily habits actually supporting the life you want to build? What needs to change in how you structure your time? Libra, this eclipse activates creativity, romance, and self-expression. You're being called to take more risks, to be more visible, to stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Scorpio, the eclipse is about home and family. Something about your foundation is shifting. You might be moving, changing your living situation, or redefining what home actually means to you. Sagittarius, this is about communication and learning. New information is coming in. Conversations are shifting. You're being asked to speak your truth more clearly. Capricorn, the eclipse lands in your sector of money and self-worth. How you value yourself is changing, and that change will show up in tangible ways, through your finances, your work, your sense of what you deserve. Aquarius, this eclipse is happening directly in your sign. This is your personal new year. A major identity shift is underway. You're shedding an old version of yourself and stepping into something truer. Trust it. And Pisces, this eclipse falls in your unconscious sector. Things are shifting beneath the surface. Pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, your need for rest. Something is ending quietly so something new can begin. Whatever your sign, the themes I just described are active for the next 6 months. The eclipse opened a door. Now it's up to you to walk through it. So how do you work with this energy using your tarot deck? First, let's talk about the kinds of questions that make sense to ask during an eclipse period. Eclipse readings are not for small, everyday questions. The energy is too big for that. You want to ask the kinds of questions that get to the heart of what's actually changing in your life. Good eclipse questions sound like this. What is the eclipse asking me to release? What new version of myself is trying to emerge? What belief am I holding that's blocking my growth? Where am I being called to step into my power? What does my next chapter look like? These are big questions, and the cards will give you big answers, so make sure you're in a grounded, open state when you sit down to read. Take a few deep breaths, light a candle if that feels good, and give yourself permission to hear whatever needs to be heard. Here's a tarot spread I recommend specifically for working with this eclipse energy. You can do this spread now, even if weeks have passed since February 17th. The portal is still open. It's a 5-card spread. Lay them out in a straight line. Card 1. What the eclipse is asking me to let go of. This shows you the pattern, belief, or identity that's ready to fall away. Don't fight it. Trust that letting go creates space for what's next. Card 2. What I'm being called to step into. This is the new energy, the new version of you that wants to emerge. Pay close attention to this card. It's showing you your future self. Card 3. What I need to understand about this transition. Transitions can be confusing. This card offers clarity. It's the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Card 4. What action I need to take in the next 3 months. Eclipse energy requires movement. This card shows you where to focus your energy, your courage, your commitment. Card 5. What becomes possible when I honor this transformation? This is the gift waiting for you on the other side. This is what opens up when you trust the process. Take your time with this spread. Write down what you see, and come back to it in a month to see what's shifted. Now I know some of you are thinking, but I missed the eclipse. I didn't know it was happening. I didn't do anything special on February 17th. Does that mean I missed the opportunity? Absolutely not. Here's what you need to understand about eclipses. They work on you whether you're paying attention or not. If something significant happened in your life between mid-February and now, a sudden clarity about a relationship, an unexpected job opportunity, a feeling that you need to make a change, that was the eclipse working through you. You don't need to perform a ritual for the energy to find you. It finds you regardless. But if you want to work with it more intentionally now, you absolutely can. The eclipse portal stays open for 6 months, which means until August 2026, this energy is still available to you. Here's what I recommend if you're just tuning into this now. Sit down with your tarot deck in a quiet space. Take a few breaths and ask the cards. What did the February eclipse set in motion for me that I haven't fully recognized yet? Pull 3 cards. That's it. Just 3. And trust what shows up. Because even if your conscious mind wasn't paying attention, your soul was. And the cards will reflect what your soul already knows. Before we wrap up, I want to give you a few simple practices you can use to keep working with this eclipse energy over the coming months. The first practice is journaling. Write about what's been shifting for you since mid-February. What feels different? What are you noticing? What patterns are you ready to release? Writing makes the invisible visible. It anchors the energy. The second practice is to cleanse your tarot deck. Eclipses bring in a lot of energy, and your deck absorbs some of that. Hold your cards, shuffle them. Slowly, thank them for their guidance. If it feels right, leave them under moonlight overnight to clear and reset. The third practice is intention setting. Choose one clear intention for the next 3 months. Just one. Make it specific. Make it aligned with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. Write it down, speak it out loud, and then take one small action toward it this week. Eclipses open doors that were previously closed, but they don't walk through those doors for you. That part is yours to do. And if you're willing to move with courage and honesty, the next 6 months can be transformational. The Ring of Fire eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th wasn't just an astronomical event. It was an invitation to shed what no longer fits, to step into a more authentic version of yourself, to trust that the life calling you forward is worth the discomfort of letting go of the life you've known. The portal is still open. The energy is still here. Your tarot deck is still ready to guide you. All you have to do is show up and ask the question,